Good afternoon, and welcome to today's Boating Industry webinar, How to Increase Capacity in Your Service Department with Texting this Fall. My name is Adam Quant, and I'm the Managing Editor here at Boating Industry, and I will be your moderator for today's session. Today's webinar is presented by Kenect, a communication management provider aimed to help business communicate with customers via text using existing phone lines, as well as track communications and manage online reviews. Our speaker for today's session will be Trevor Allred, the VP of Business Development at Kenect. Before I officially hand things off to Trevor, I'd like to remind attendees that if you should have any questions during the webinar, please submit them using the chat function and they will be addressed at the end of the session. I'd also like to remind attendees that a recording of today's session will be available on Boating Industry's YouTube channel in the coming days. With that, I'll hand things over to Trevor.
Thank you very much, Adam. Appreciate that introduction, and I appreciate the opportunity that I have to visit with each of you. And so I call in from Utah, Salt Lake City area, and I look out my window and I see it's a nice, crisp fall day. We have blue skies and sunshine, but 36 degrees. So I smile as we're doing a boating industry webinar. Hopefully, wherever you are, it's still warm and sunny. You can get in the last few days on the lake. And I smile in particular because I'm a big boat user. We've got a family boat that we've used. And this year, given the COVID scenario and nothing else to really compete, we got in a record number of boating trips. And I say that because each of you as dealers are probably nodding your heads and sharing association with the fact that a lot of people, unbeknownst to us 8 months ago when COVID started, ended up making it a pretty good year for boating and the boating industry at large. So I certainly appreciate Adam and Leslie and the whole team at EPG Media and Boating Industry for this opportunity to share a few ideas with each of you as dealers. And I see we've got a huge group of dealers from all over the country. So I issue you a hearty welcome. I hope that during COVID, not only are you well physically, but I hope you're well from a business standpoint too. And to even add more opportunity, the very purpose of this webinar is to address how we can help you increase the capacity in your service department with the idea that even as you come into these fall months, you'll still be able to generate revenue so that you really can cap off what we didn't think would be a good year, but hopefully what has turned out to be a fantastic year. And so you should be able to see my slides here. Adam kind of gave me a wonderful introduction. I actually gave Adam a 47-page bio that I wanted him to read. So Adam, I'm a little disappointed you didn't go through that, but I'll let it go just this once. Who is Kenect? Adam mentioned briefly who we are. We're a software company. We have a text messaging platform for you as dealers based on texting to do the following: communicate more efficiently, generate new leads, collect via payments via text message, and drive online reviews. And so we're going to be focusing, though, on how to improve and increase the capacity of your service department. But as Adam mentioned, use that GoToWebinar questions function in the right-hand corner. Send in your questions throughout, and we'll make sure that we get all of those addressed at the end of the presentation. Just a little more on Kenect. We have been in the industry several years now. And we work with the majority of the top marine dealers across the country. We have some integrations with a lot of the major dealer management systems, as you can see here. We work now with over 2,300 dealers in North America. And so here's just a handful of some of our wonderful customers that we've had a chance to rub shoulders with and grow together, if you will, in the business and in helping dealers not only generate more revenue with inbound leads, but of course, expanding your service department capacity also generates more revenue for you. And we all know that that revenue is a bit of a higher margin. So a certain win, especially during this fall season. But a lot of what I present today is going to be based on the value of text messaging, or the backbone, if you will, of text messaging. And here is why. As you look here at some of this data, 89% of consumers would prefer to text you anyway. Look at the second bullet there. 98% of messages are opened and 95% are read within 3 minutes. So boy, if you as a dealership really want to be in touch with your customers and prospects, and I know you all do, you'll want to use text messaging. And it doesn't mean that phone calls go away, and it doesn't mean that email goes away. But in terms of effectiveness, consider a phone call. You're probably 50-50 chance that you'll reach them. Consider an email. You're under 20% chance that you'll reach them. And we'll share a few examples of how not only is that 98% open rate huge, but it can be a big help when it comes to increasing your capacity. And we'll talk about those specifics. And then the third bullet I wanted to share on the value of text messaging is look at that third one there. Customers are how many times more likely to text you back? 7 times more likely to text you back. And I think we all get that. Look at your own personal life. If you want quick and easy communication with friends or with family or significant others, how are you doing it? Well, the answer is pretty obvious. And I would dare say each of you pull out your phones right now, and shame on some of you who are probably texting even during this glorious webinar, but pull out your phones and tell me how many unread text messages you have. Likely you have 0. And then on top of that, if I were to have you open up your email inbox, how many unread emails do you have? A ton, a ton, a ton. So I think you get the value of text messaging. And now let's talk about specific applications of text messaging that can really help to increase the capacity in your service department, even this fall where you've still got some opportunities for winterizations and warranty work and things of that nature. So here are the 3 main points I want to discuss with you today. Number 1, to be able to increase capacity in your service department, that's going to include proactively scheduling service appointments. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Number 2, it's going to include communicating effectively. And we all nod our heads and say, yeah, I get that. That's pretty standard. But I'm going to show you how if you do communicate in the most efficient way possible, it actually leads to greater capacity and thereby revenue in your service department. And then number 3, in terms of how the top dealers are increasing their capacity, collecting service payments remotely. So those are the 3 things we're going to focus on during this webinar. Again, as we go through this and you have questions, be sure to use that questions feature, and we'll make sure to hit them all at the end. So let's begin with proactively scheduling service appointments. Now, big picture, before I dive into specifics, this is pretty big, and here's why, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. But if you're reactive on your service appointments, how often is it and how likely is it that those are all going to bunch up in one particular crazy breakneck speed time where you just work your guts out and your employees are exhausted and customers may not be completely pleased with the way you've treated them. So again, it's not rocket science, but if you're proactive about scheduling those service appointments, it puts you in a better position to ultimately have more capacity. Number 2, it keeps your staff happy and not completely overworked. And even number 3, it can help spread out some of that income over the fall months rather than just in 1 or 2 super, super busy weeks. And so let me show you how using text messaging, you can proactively schedule those appointments, which means now you are in control of the arrive time and the departure time and how much business is coming through your service bays that have a maximum capacity anyway. So this screenshot is a picture of our Kenect text messaging platform. And so we, as part of our service, convert your main dealership phone number to be text enabled. And that's great because now, number 1, no longer do your employees need to give out their personal cell phone numbers. And you know they're sending and receiving text messages anyway. But number 2, and the reason why I show you this, is we can capture all of the 2-way text message conversations going on in your dealership, of course in service, but also in parts and in sales. And they all end up in this very easy to use, simple email-like inbox. And so as you're looking to expand your capacity, as you look at this particular slide, on the left-hand column is where that text message is from. The middle column is a time and date stamp and a subject line. And the third column is who that message was assigned to. And so using text messaging, you can easily assign those messages to other individuals or departments in your dealership. And then the far right-hand side in the blue boxes show that 2-way text message communication. The blue boxes are from your employees, has a time and date stamp and a subject line. But the reason why I show you this interface is look in the middle there. We have what are called quick reply templates. And as the name infers, your subscription with Kenect includes a lot of those templates that you can very easily customize. And so we have found that using text messaging for something as simple as a service reminder can go a long way in terms of increasing your capacity in your service department. And then as you look in the lower right-hand corner where I'm circling my mouse, that little calendar icon lets you even schedule those service reminder text messages to go out, for example, the day before, if you will. And now look at this screen, and I have highlighted that calendar feature here, but it can include via text messaging not only service reminders, but service department surveys, extended warranty upsells, parts pickup notifications, winterizations. And then the scheduling, of course, is very simple. You grab the calendar, you choose a date and a time that you want some of those messages to go out. But again, using text messaging, you're going to have a 98% open rate, and 95% of those messages are going to be read within the first 3 minutes. And that's exactly what you want, because that means then that your service deliveries are going to be much more timely, fewer numbers are going to be forgotten, and as a result, what happens to your service department capacity? Well, of course it goes up, because you're not left sitting around waiting for the unit to come in. And you know as well as I do that we consumers sometimes are a little late or mistrack things and that sort of stuff. And so proactively scheduling service appointments using text messaging can be huge. And as you reach out, say at the end of August, for example, or early September, and say, hey, we sure appreciate your business. As you know, the boating season's winding down. Please jump in right now and schedule your fall service appointment. Then you are in control of how much time those take and how long you can spread them out. And let me throw in one more thing too. One of my neighbors here is the head of service at one of the big boat dealerships here in the Salt Lake City area. And he said what they also do, in addition to what we've talked about, is separate fall winterizations from warranty work. And the reason why is because then you can spread out those opportunities. It means you're a little less packed, if you will, when it comes to just the winterizations. And ultimately, the customers are going to get a better experience because you can focus on them and what their particular needs are. Okay, so number one, in terms of the 3 ways I wanted to present to you on how to increase capacity in your service department this fall, was to be proactive about scheduling those service appointments and use text messaging to do it, not only because of the great open rate and how easy it is, but also because you can schedule those to go out. And of course, that missed time or the late time incidents go way, way down. All right, let's talk about communicating efficiently during the service process. And so once we've got the appointments proactively set up and they're scheduled and they've received reminders and they bring those in, this is a big one. So I had showed to you originally a screenshot of our desktop application. Well, we also have a mobile application that has all the same functionality, such as the inbox and notifications. It's a simple app that your employees download onto their personal cell phones. But it also includes quick reply templates, even on the app, and photos. And so in terms of maximizing your service department capacity and considering the importance of communicating efficiently, consider this example with a mobile app using text messaging. Let's say Adam has brought his boat in for service for me, and I'm the service technician. And as I'm working on his boat, I notice an engine oil leak. I can grab my cell phone and with the Kenect app, take a quick picture of that engine oil leak and text it immediately to Adam. And let's say Adam's sitting in a very important board meeting, but he, like everyone else, is hiding his phone under the table. And so does he get my text message from me, his favorite dealer? Yes. While he's hiding his phone under the table, he's likely to get it. And when he sees a photo of an engine oil leak and a note from me saying for $89, it's a simple seal, we'll take care of it, and it'll still be ready by 5 o'clock today, 3 things happen. Number one, how does Adam feel about my approach to customer service? Well, put on your customer hat. He probably feels pretty good right now because I reached out to him in a way not only that he preferred, but that was very quick and easy and convenient, even while he's sitting in a meeting. And so he's likely to get that message and reply and say, sure, have it done. I'll see you at 5. So number one, he's happy as my customer. Number two, if I'm the service manager, how am I feeling about now in this scenario? Well, I'm feeling pretty excited because I just got confirmation in writing, no less, to proceed with that service order. And so, of course, I'm thrilled. And then number three, the benefit behind that is that I can immediately take care of the service need and move Adam's boat out of my service bay and move in the next one. Now, contrast that with whether or not I sent him an email or left him a voicemail message. Would I be able to instantly jump on that service ticket and move his unit out of my service bay and move in the next one? No. To begin to see how effective communication in a way that customers prefer, and in this case, it's text messaging and including photos, can greatly increase the capacity of your service department this fall, because you're able to move those units in and out much more quickly. Why? Because you're getting near instant customer confirmation and you have it in writing. And I know some of you smile when I say that, because a lot of times not having it in writing becomes a battle. And so it's kind of a win-win-win in terms of using efficient communication. And on top of that, to make it even more efficient, we also have a relatively new video chat feature where, sure, I can have a picture of the engine oil leak, but you know what? If Adam quickly says, well, tell me a little bit more, I can switch to a video chat feature where I text Adam a link to where I can do live video chat, walk around the unit, look at the parts, look at the issue needing servicing and that sort of thing. And that's super easy. It doesn't require any additional software. It's a simple text message with a link that your customers and dealership employees can use for that video chatting. So number one, we've talked about the importance of proactively scheduling service appointments and, of course, using text messaging to make it all the more effective. Number two, we have talked about communicating efficiently, and efficiently means quick and easy. And when you mix in their photos and video chats, you are going to get a better customer experience for your customers and quicker responses, which means your efficiency in the service department goes up. Now let's talk about number three of the three things that I wanted to visit about in this webinar. And again, as you have questions, I see we've got a bunch coming in. Continue to pop those in and we'll make sure that we spend time on them. But number three, in terms of a way you can increase service capacity, is to collect service payments remotely. Now, let me talk about that one just a little. Here are some of the ways that our dealership customers are using our remote payment collection via text messaging to collect not just payments, but deposits, service tickets, parts tickets, sales even. It allows for more after-hour pickups and remote drop-offs. And that's a big part of increasing your fall service capacity, because you can actually open up more opportunities for folks to do pre-business hour drop-offs and post-business hour pickups. And a lot of dealers have actually gone the extra mile from a customer service standpoint, but also from an efficiency standpoint, using remote payment collection to do at-home pickups and at-home drop-offs. And given the huge number of dealers we have on this webinar, I'm sure some of you are already trying that. And you're winning there on two fronts. Number one, your customers love the service. But number two, you are now in control of the unit delivery for service. It is never late, it is always on time, and it is always right where you want it, so that you can quickly move it through your service machine at the dealership. And now with remote payment collection, you can do that because you can get a deposit beforehand, knowing all is taken care of. You can accept those early drop-offs and those late pickups and all sorts of things. Anyway, number four there, you can increase your over-phone sales. You get paid faster. You get next-day funding. Our payments platform is 100% secure and PCI compliant. Look how easy it is. If I just simply click on the payments icon in Kenect, whether I'm on my desktop application or my mobile application, do you see that $sign button circled in green? I just simply click on that. I enter the amount and the invoice number, and I hit send. Wow, how easy was that? And your customers now on their end get a text message from you, their favorite dealer, and there's a simple link that they click on, they complete the transaction, and it is done. And you're not left empty-handed, because in Kenect, you have a little tab where you can see all of the payments from an overview standpoint and from each of the individual transactions that are going on. So again, how does collecting payments remotely via text messaging help to increase your service capacity, especially even now this fall? Well, like I mentioned, it opens up the doors now for at-home pickups, at-home deliveries, curbside pickups, curbside deliveries, and those are important because then you are in charge of the time frame, and you have their unit right where you need it and when you need it, which means you're going to have higher efficiencies in your service department, and you're going to have increased capacity in your service department. And this slide here shows some additional ways we can really help in terms of your efficiency, in terms of our payment suite. And so as we kind of round the corner now and summarize and then begin to dive into some of these questions, our marine dealers are using Kenect text messaging for a lot of things: scheduling appointments, quick information, targeted warranty reminders, collecting payments, video chat, attaching and sending photos, generating online reviews, and capturing more leads. And we haven't even talked about that, but our average dealership, using a big text us button on their website, sees a 260% increase in leads. But here's my favorite slide, because this is where the rubber meets the road. Not only in how to maximize your service capacity as a dealership, and to do that right now with a simple text messaging solution that is part of your workflow anyway, and it doesn't require you to add 2 or 3 more service bays to your dealership. It's simply considering text messaging as you focus on proactively scheduling your service appointments, communicating efficiently with customers, and number 3, collecting payments remotely. But the big picture is this: it's going to, of course, using text messaging, Kenect in particular, it's not only going to reduce your unnecessary call traffic, it's also going to reduce your voicemails. And look at this third one. This is a service department webinar. We found on average with the 2,300 dealerships we work with that Kenect dealers in year 1 see on average a savings of 45 minutes per day per person in parts and service. Let me say that again: 45 minutes per day per person in parts and service. Now, first of all, if you marched into your service department touting that, you're going to be the hero of the day. And is it realistic? Absolutely. And take into consideration, instead of playing the phone tag game or the voicemail tag game, you're getting quick and easy responses via text messaging, which means you're creating more efficiencies in your service department because your folks have more time. The fourth one there on the upside for sales, of course, you'll get an increase in new leads, an increase in online reviews, and we haven't even talked about those. We'll save those for another day. But look at the payments. On average, our year 1 Kenect dealerships get paid within 48 hours on nearly 60% of those payment requests. So talk about reducing your accounts receivable, and talk about more cash readily available. That's a huge win for you. And then look at that last one: an increase of new units sold by 6% per year. And that's on average. A lot are much higher. And so for simple math, if you're doing 100 units a year with your boating business, a 6% increase is obviously 6 more units. Let's say your average unit cost, just for easy math, was $30,000. So you're looking at $180,000 in new revenue because you're using texting. How? You're using texting to generate reviews. More people are finding you. More people are picking you. You have a big text us button on your website. And then you've equipped your army of dealership employees with a very simple yet very powerful text messaging tool, even on their very own cell phones. And so as we kind of wrap up before we dive into questions here, the 3 principles I wanted to share with you in terms of how you can even right now begin to increase service capacity during a busy fall season. Number 1, proactively schedule service appointments. Number 2, communicate efficiently. Number 3, collect service payments remotely. And with each of those 3, I guarantee your service department capacity will increase. You'll be more in control, and think about the value of happy employees. We talk a lot about keeping the customers happy, but if you follow some of these principles we've talked about today, your employees won't get slammed. And I smile when I say that because our typical dealership over the last couple of months has seen two things, and you can probably all relate to this. Number one, you have sales folks that are strutting around like they're God's greatest gift to man because they've had a killer sales year. And in the very same dealership, you have service folks that are what? They're shaking in their boots because not only have there been record sales for many of you, but there has been record usage. Remember how I said we had been out boating it for a record number of times? And that just means more service. So again, the more you can do to make your service department more efficient and to handle more capacity, the better it will be for your employees because they'll realize you're looking out for them. They'll realize that there is a smooth and even load, that it's been proactively addressed and scheduled. They'll realize that they have a quick and easy way to get written confirmation from their customers to proceed with service orders. And they'll not have to spend 10 minutes trying to handle the payments issue or passing on the little credit card number written down on a yellow sticky note to finish that processing. So keep that in mind. You will have happier customers, you will have happier employees, but most of all, you'll have greater capacity in your service department. So now, Adam, I'll let you jump in. Let's dive into some questions. I'm happy to address them. I certainly appreciate your time and look forward to each of you reaching out to us and finding out a little bit more about how we can help you increase the capacity in your service department. Go ahead, Adam.
Thanks, Trevor. I didn't know you were going to put me on blast for shorting your bio a little bit, and then we'll consider it even for
all 47 pages of it. There you go.
As Trevor said, if you have any questions right now, please submit them using the chat and question function. Right off the bat, Trevor, how does Kenect convert the main dealership phone number to be text enabled?
Oh, that's a great question. So many of us didn't know this, or many of you still don't know this. Each telephone line has what's called SMS and MMS capability built into it. And so to activate your main dealership phone number to be text enabled, we just simply, as part of our service, contact your provider and have them turn on the switch, so to speak, for the SMS and MMS capabilities of your existing phone line. And so again, there's no additional cost for it. We take care of all that for you. And the benefits, as you figured out, are number one, your employees no longer have to give out their personal cell phone numbers, but can still send and receive messages on their personal cell phones. And number two, we can now capture all of the two-way text messaging going back and forth in your dealership. So a lot of upside to converting your main dealership phone number to be text enabled. And of course, it means you can still handle all the call traffic you always have on it. Good question.
Definitely. We've got another one here pertaining to kind of the capturing payment method using Kenect. So do dealers still need to manually enter the customer payment method at the dealership once they provide it via the text?
Oh, good question. So no, that's the beauty of our offering is on the back end. By Bank One, we use a payment processing partner called Card Connect. And so it's as easy, like I showed you, as putting the invoice amount in, the invoice number, and hitting send. And then what you're sending then is a link via text messaging that your customer then taps on to complete the payments information. And it's that link then that populates that information that you've previously needed to gather manually on your own. So it's really slick and it's really easy. But most importantly, it opens up more avenues to boost and maximize your service capacity because at-home pickups, at-home drop-offs, I mean, I wish we were in a big classroom and I could say, how many of you are already trying that already? It's been received as part of a premium package even very nicely by customers. But again, you dealers will nail your efficiency because you are in control of when the unit gets there and where it's placed. Great question on the payments piece. It's great.
As a follow-up on the payment side, if the dealer is already involved with Card Connect, would the account stay the same?
It's a different account because it's for text collected. However, we can make that change so that you use Card Connect for everybody. But let me clarify, our mission isn't to have you handle all of your payments via text messaging. You're certainly welcome to, but we know that a lot of you already have an existing payments processing partnership. It's already set up, it's working well. We're just extending to you the option to do the remote payment collection. And so we've got a plug and play solution for that that can be in addition to what you're doing or combined if you already have Card Connect. Great question.
Still on the payment side of things, after the customer pays via the text, does the customer receive an invoice of the payment then?
Yeah, so you actually set up whether it's an invoice or the receipt or however you want that to happen. But yes, the invoice is attached. And so you have some flexibility there on exactly how the process works from A to Z. And again, it's meant to be inclusive, to be all text related, whether it's the link to make the payment, receiving the invoice, receiving the receipt. Great question.
Awesome. Another question from someone here is Kenect available for Canadian dealers?
Absolutely. We love Canadian dealers, and so reach out to us and we'll make that work for you very quickly and easily.
Great. Trevor, could you go over kind of the integration with DocMaster and how that works?
You bet. So I don't have particulars for each of our integration partners, but here's how in essence or a big picture our integrations work. There are three main things we try to accomplish with that. Number one, what we call a contact information sync, where automatically, whether you're in Kenect or your dealer management system, they talk to each other so that whether you're texting someone in Kenect or looking up records in your dealer management system, the name and the most recent telephone number is correct in both systems. So that's number one, a contact sync. Number two, posting the conversation history back into the dealer management system. And we all get very quickly the value of that, meaning if you look up a contact in your dealer management system, you'll see the traditional phone calls and in-person visits, but you also have the time and date stamped text message interactions with the customer. So number one, syncing contact information. Number two, posting the conversation history back into the contact record. And then the third option of most integrations is what we call event-based triggered messages, meaning this, that you can set up automatically whenever a sales order is closed, a text message containing content X, Y, and Z is automatically sent out at periods A, B, and C. And so that can be an event-based triggered message going out off of a sales event or a service event or a special parts order event. And that can be really, really slick because you can include confirmation text messages that go out immediately. You can include a review request that goes out 1 week later. You can include a customer survey that automatically goes out 30 days later. And you can even include an 11-month, hey, your 1-year warranty is about to expire notification, inviting them to consider you for an extended warranty upsell. Does that help? So those are the three elements of most of our integrations. Good question.
Perfect. Can you integrate Kenect with Salesforce?
Yes. So that one wasn't listed. The answer is yes. We've got an integration for that as well.
And back to another payment question. What is the percentage rate for using the payment process as opposed to current credit card processing companies?
Right, that's a great question. We base off a flat rate, and in every instance, because we represent thousands of dealers back to Card Connect, we've been able to save dealers money on that rate. So reach out to us. I'll give you our little contact information right here. Reach out to us, and we can share with you the particulars and the specifics. But it's been a huge benefit to dealers because they would expect to pay a bit more on the flat rate for the remote payment collection, when in reality, in every case, it's actually been a better rate than they're currently getting from their current card processors. So that won't stand in your way of pulling the trigger on our remote payment collection feature. And that too is included in your Kenect subscription. It's pretty simple.
Okay. One question we've had pop up a lot is, what does it cost to get involved with Kenect and use the services?
Oh, you bet. Great question. Everybody always asks it. So our pricing model is based on three things. The first thing is how many dealership locations you have, as you can imagine. The second part of our pricing is excuse me, what your payment preference or method is, meaning it's an annual subscription. You have an option to pay monthly or to pay up front, and there's a discount associated with paying up front. So number one, how many locations you have. Number two, your method of payment. And then the third is integration needs. So reach out to us and let us know where you are in each of those three areas, and we can give you an exact quote for your dealership. Great question.
Another question from someone, does the tech in the field get a confirmation that the payment has been made before they leave a job?
You can assign that, absolutely.
Does Kenect include features for on the Canadian dealer side for the Canadian Privacy Act?
Yes, so we've taken in very carefully the TCPA acts in the U.S. and the Privacy Acts in Canada. We very carefully researched both of those so that our product is compliant in both countries. And we work with hundreds of marine dealers in Canada, and so you're not the first and you're not alone. And we're also associated with a lot of the industry associations in Canada as well. So give us a call, reach out to us, and we can get you up and running and you're in full compliance. Great question.
Awesome. Will payments made by text be posted on those using DocMaster? Will be automatically posted on the customer ledger?
Right now, we're working with a lot of the remote payments is fairly new for us. And so in terms of pieces of the integration, in some of those integrations, we're still working on it. But even if it's not automatic, there is a simple export where you can pull it into your dealer management system. Good question.
Great. What happens if dealership's employees aren't texting?
Okay, well, that could be very real. I mean, raise your hand if you know of some of your employees that aren't texting. But I go back to what I think I mentioned earlier. As I've marched around the country visiting with dealerships and attending industry shows, that question is often asked, how many of you text? And I've yet to meet someone that doesn't text, even if it's just to grandchildren or significant others and friends, family, that sort of thing. And so if you have folks in your dealership that aren't using texting, that's fine. But I'll tell you, one or two of the data charts I just showed will convert them instantly. Because the reason why everybody texts, even those of us that are 60, 70, or 80 years old, is why? Because it is so easy, it is so convenient, and it is so quick. And so I don't think you would have to do much of a sales job at all to invite your employees to use their personal cell phones to text, because number one, you've taken away the biggest concern. They don't have to ever give out their personal cell phone number. And then when you add to that some of the features in Kenect, such as the automatic out-of-office text reply or the quick replies, or if they're on the sales team and they realize that they're getting instant delivery of inbound leads to their very own phone via text messaging that they can respond to in seconds and minutes now instead of hours and days, it will make a huge difference. And so a neat thing about our Kenect offering is we offer, as part of the subscription, unlimited users, unlimited messages, but most importantly, unlimited training and support. And so if you have folks that aren't texting, let us conduct a training session and they'll be converts real quick, I promise.
Great, thanks. One more integration question. Is Kenect able to integrate with Peer Advantage?
Peer Advantage?
Peer Advantage.
Not yet. Oh, okay. Not yet, but please, if you'll reach out to me, call in and or you can send an email with a message. Let me know who to contact there and we'll jump right on it. We have integrations with a couple of dozen dealer management systems or CRMs, and we're always looking for more. And I'm going to write that down too and see if we can hunt them down.
In regards to kind of who receives the text messages, is it targeted to one person specifically, or does it go into a general queue?
Right. That's a great question. So remember I showed you a screenshot on our inbox? You as the dealer actually can assign those messages to automatically, let's say it's a new inbound sales lead off of your website. You're a Kenect customer, you have a big text us button right there on your website. someone clicks on that and says, hey, do you have model XYZ and how much is it? Well, when that message comes into your inbox, you can set up rules to have it automatically go to all 10 of your salespeople. And you may think, well, why would I want to do that? Well, the answer is you want the quickest response possible, the most accurate response, and the response from the right person. Or you can have those assigned to your sales manager, who with one click of a button can assign it to others. So the answer is you have control of where those inbound messages automatically go to, either to individuals or a group of individuals or a department or a team or the department head or the department team, or by location even if you have multiple locations. It's super quick using filters and it's super easy.
One other question that we've seen pop up quite a bit here is, how do dealers get started with Kenect?
Oh, you bet. So we try to make it easy because we know the last thing you want to do is worry about getting things up and running. So we have what's called a DocuSign enrollment form that is taken care of electronically. It's one page. You just simply submit that, and that triggers us to then call you, and we schedule what we call a setup call. And the setup call is where with one or two people at your dealership, we take care of converting your main dealership to phone number to be text enabled. The second part of that setup on the review side is where we activate your Google and Facebook credentials in Kenect so that you can manage all of your reviews. And then, of course, we get a list of your employees and the other information. So the enrollment form, a setup call, and then those telephone companies usually require a 24-hour turnaround to convert phone numbers. And so after the enrollment form, we schedule a setup call, and then as close to 24 hours after that setup call, we can schedule as many training sessions as you'd like, whether it's for departments or locations or whatnot. And during those training sessions, we actually have each of your employees download the app and start sending and receiving messages before the training's even over. So how do you get started? Complete an enrollment form, schedule a setup call, and let's get going on the training. Pretty quick, pretty easy.
Definitely. You also mentioned a demo. Is there payment required to set up a demo with you guys?
No. So, I mean, you can see our note here at the bottom. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, so to speak, if you call in after this webinar ends and schedule a demo in the next 10 or so minutes after we're done, we'll send you a $25 Amazon gift card. So there's no requirement other than scheduling a demonstration for you and your team at your dealership. No obligation, super simple. And I think you'll love it because, like I said, in that demonstration, we'll be able to answer a lot of your more particular questions in regard to your integrations and what the pricing may entail and things like that. But we work with a ton of marine dealers, and it's been a great relationship, and we've certainly enjoyed the feedback and the opportunity to work together to really deliver a platform that has really made a difference for dealerships.
Awesome. Well, I'm not seeing any more questions coming through right now, but I know people can reach out to you guys if they have any more.
You bet.
I want to remind everyone, if you want to access this webinar at a later date, the recording will be available on demand via Boating Industry's YouTube channel. Trevor's got some more contact information for Kenect up on the current slide if you wish to reach out for any more information. And I just want to offer a special thank you to Kenect for presenting today, and a special thank you to all of you for joining us during today's webinar. But I'll kick it back to Trevor, and if he's got anything else, otherwise we'll wrap things up.
No, I just wish you well. Again, from a business standpoint and a personal and family health standpoint, I know these are very, very unique times, but I'm confident that because of the boost in our marine industry and in other industries, we're going to survive and come out even better prepared to handle customers and to boost sales and maximize service capacity. So I'm excited. Good luck to all of you. Enjoy the rest of your day and your Friday and the weekend.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.